YouTube vinyl community, Beach Boys fans, random people on the internet. My name is Giggens and I have a beard now, and today we're here to talk about the Beach Boys 1987 release, The Beach Boys 1962 to 1967, the rock and roll era, chrome, digital remaster, normal bias, cassette, greatest hits. But first off, I guess this cover is one of the main reasons why I want to talk about this, because the cover is absolutely fantastic. They gave all the Beach Boys these crazy, insane bodybuilder physiques, and then like the pasting of the heads on the fake bodies is just laughable. I mean, some of them are kind of close, but some of them are just rather funny. This is a series that TimeLife was doing in the late 80s, where they were making these big box sets of records, CDs, and tapes of collections of stuff from the 50s and 60s. And I've had a bunch of these collections over the years that collected stuff. In fact, I had a series that was just year by year throughout the 50s and 60s, which was pretty cool. You know, a 2-record set in a big box or sometimes a booklet, and they were pretty cool to take a look at, and they sounded good. They were well packaged. You know, every one of them had this kind of same style of artwork with this nice painting on the front. I had some for the 50s and early 60s. I had the one called, I think, just the rock and roll era or something. I'm not sure where they are, actually. I used to have a bunch of them. I don't know where they went. But this has been on my list for quite some time now. This one in particular, this cover, this amazing cover, is version 2 of this. Version 1 is actually a little bit more exciting. It has them sort of blasting at you on surfboards on these humongous waves behind them, and they're smiling quite happily as they do so. So I wanted to talk about this for a long time. I finally found the tape of this thing. I've seen the record here and there over the years, but I really wanted to find the tape. I don't know about it, but something about the tape just drew me to it more than the record does. Maybe because I've had the records of the other series before. I don't know, but pretty cool. I mean, yeah, like I said, it's a chrome tape, normal bias, so it's pretty well made. Sounds like a good tape. It's, you know, it's got Dolby on it, and pretty decent life to it for a tape that's now 30 years old. This version in particular was also released on CD, so as record, tape, and CD. Version 1 was only tape and record. Record, which is like vinyl and record. Tape and record was not released on CD, but it's pretty cool. So here you got the actual tape there. Nothing too crazy on that. It just says the name of the album and the songs on it, as you do. The booklet is pretty nice. It gives you a pretty substantial booklet here. So I'll zoom in a little bit here. Give you the song titles of the year, and you can feel free to pause this stuff and look at it too. But pretty substantial fold out here. So starting on this side, basically just starts off giving you a brief biography of the band in between these 5 years, which for most people is, for non-Beach Boys fans, this kind of covers what you want from the guys. This came out before Kokomo, so, you know, if Kokomo had come out, it probably would have been on here. They would have just added on 1988 on top of that, but, you know, it's pretty cool. It just describes the Beach Boys' work as a really early group of friends, brothers, and cousins, come together to make music and get out on the road, and they're writing their first songs, they're making their first big hits, they're winning awards, they're winning records, they're making records that win awards, and it goes right up to actually talking about stuff past when this album came out, which is kind of cool. So this part's really good. The Beach Boys produced 2 very good albums in 1967. This phrasing is just kind of funny. The whimsically psychedelic Smiley Smile and the rousing R&B flavored Wild Honey. Brian, his spirit apparently broken by the collapse of the Smile Project, withdrew from his leadership role. While the group has since made a few strong albums, such as Sunflower and Love You, which is amazing how they picked those 2 out, and those are the ones I haven't talked about yet, but I will. And scored an occasional hit single with rock and roll music, they have never fully regained their creative vitality. But just wait, Kokomo comes up next. Despite the tragic loss of Dennis Wilson by drowning in 1983, the Beach Boys persist as an immensely popular touring act, true, relying heavily on the songs that evoke nostalgia in their audiences. That's also true, and that's been the case since about Endless Summer coming out. So here's a little bit more detail with the songs themselves that give you like where these things placed on the charts, you know, if they were number 1 or number 10 or 12, you know, it's listed on here, which is pretty cool. And the back here just gives you a little bit more of the TimeLife information as to the who, what, when, where of who put this thing together. But pretty solid track list overall. It kind of goes in chronological order, but not all the way. They kind of take a couple liberties here, but I'll read it off to you to see if an idea of what's going on. There's a lot of songs on here too. They do a great job of putting over 20 songs on this list. So you know, for one cassette tape, you really get a decent showing of all your favorite Beach Boys tracks. Opens with Fun Fun Fun. Great way to start an album. 409, Going Back in Time. Surfer Girl, Be True to Your School, In My Room, I Get Around, Shut Down, When I Grow Up to Be a Man, Little Deuce Coupe, Wendy, Don't Worry Baby, California Girls, Dance Dance Dance, ends side 1. Side B starts off with Ba Ba Ba, Ba Ba Baran. Little Girl I Once Knew, which is really interesting that's on here because that wasn't like a big hit. I mean, it was a single, but kind of an obscure choice to put on here. So that's nice to have that on here. Do You Want to Dance, Help Me Rhonda, Good Vibrations, Sloop John B, Wouldn't It Be Nice, God Only Knows, and ending it off with Heroes and Villains, which of course is always where this thing sort of stops. So it's like, well, we got the Heroes and Villains, and I guess after that the Beach Boys stopped being a band. But so, anyways, there's not much to talk about with this thing. I just wanted to show it off. It's something I've been looking for a very long time, and I happened to come across it fairly recently, and I figured now was the time to talk about it. Just fun to have something like this. So that's it. Not much to talk about beyond that. This is just part of a series of albums that came out by TimeLife in the late 80s. And as far as I know, there was never like a part 2 to this. It was just this tape, just this album, just this 62, 67 period. And like I said, for most people, that's kind of covering what they want. I'm trying to think if there's any omissions on here that I was kind of like scratching my head about that they weren't on here, but I don't think so. I mean, you got, yeah, Good Vibrations, Help Me Rhonda, God Only Knows, Wouldn't It Be Nice, Sleep John B, that covers Pet Sounds, yeah, I Get Around, Shut Down, I Grew Up, Fun Fun Fun, 409, yeah, this is In My Room. I mean, this really does cover everything. This is a pretty solid playlist here. Yeah, Girls on the Beach would have been a cool song to have on here too, but only enough room for a certain amount of songs. So that's it. Just a real quick video. Nothing too crazy to go into with this thing, but if you guys have it, let's talk about it. Curious to hear your thoughts, and you know, if you do have the original version 1 with them exploding out the cover on their surfboards, let me know because I really want to see if you guys have that. I've only seen pictures of it, and I've seen it pop up one time on eBay, so it's apparently not that common. I don't want to call it rare, but might be a bit rare. So that's it. The Beach Boys, 1962 to 1967. Rock and roll music, man. Rock and roll era, man. Chrome tape, man. And that's it. So I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm going to give this thing a 10 out of 10. It's just every song on it is perfect. It's a greatest hits album. You know, essential? No. Essential for the cover art? I think so. My name is Giggens. This has been the Beach Boys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.